Whoo! Oh boy. Well, Disney must think that they are beginning to slack because they just dropped another trailer for one of their Disney Plus series, this one being Loki. You forget just a day or two ago, we got the Black Widow trailer. So now the Loki one is out. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to We Sibz, West Coast, East Coast siblings, where we break down your favorite movies and TV shows. Man, this trailer was exciting. It did a lot of explaining. Before we dive into it, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell, and let's jump into it. So, trailers galore. We just got Black Widow. Now we're to Loki. This one actually explains the story of the show. We had kind of known this before, but it had never been explained in a trailer. So we have Loki showing up at the time manipulation facility, and these people are in charge of keeping the timeline straight. And what Loki did at the end of Endgame, in which he picks up the Tesseract at the end of the first Avengers movie, and this time he changes the time stream by jumping out of that timeline. He was supposed to get the Tesseract taken from him, etc. And it was supposed to go on the way that we had seen it in the Avengers movie. But no, he changed everything when he took it. And so now the time facility there, they're trying to force him to correct the things that he has changed. So basically, the story is going to cover Loki hopping all around the universe, trying to fix his wrongs. Now, whether he's willingly doing this or not, that remains to be seen. I doubt that Loki is going to willingly be going back and changing everything that he did. I think it's much more going to be manipulation and mischief. As we know, Loki is the god of mischief in the Marvel universe, excuse me. And so he's definitely going to have some tricks up his sleeve when it comes to what he's actually going to be doing for them. The show looks really good. The tone looks really good. It reminds me aesthetically, thankfully not story wise, it reminds me of Thor: The Dark World, Thor 2. It does remind me of that a little bit. So, but Thor: The Dark World had a good aesthetic, so I'm not upset about that. It's just reminiscent of that. And a lot of what Marvel does, they play on the things that they've done in the past, and that's what makes that connected universe and that connected synergy so powerful, I think, in their movies. So a couple of things as we go kind of shot by shot through the trailer. We have him arriving with the guards. And they're taking him into custody. He's got his full-on Loki suit, and that's one thing that I'm kind of disappointed is from the looks of this trailer, it doesn't look like we're getting a ton of his comic book accurate Loki suit. A lot of the time he's kind of in his prison jumper, sometimes in a suit with the horns, but never like full out Loki. But here when he arrives at this facility, he is in his full Loki garb. And so I guess that's something to be said. We don't know how long he'll be in that, probably just until he gets booked here in this prison. They have him standing on trial, being judged. Some guards there. Owen Wilson's character is there, and I think he's kind of going to be kind of the liaison between the Time Masters and Loki. So he's going to be explaining to him, look, the stuff that you've done, it's messed up things. A really funny part was when one of the guards, he's dropped into one of the guards there, and he's like, please sign this to admit this is everything you've ever said. And then he's like, this is ridiculous. And then another sheet prints out. That's really funny because I guess they would use that against him in the court of law or something like that. What I love about this trailer and about the time variance manipulation facility here is it's got a very like old school vibe. It's very like 80s. It's got big monitors that look all staticky. So it's funny how they deal with time travel and stuff, but they don't have newer tech. I mean, I'm sure the tech is going to be super, high tech and advanced, but it just has the aesthetic of old school tech. And so I think it's cool that creatively they went in the opposite direction of what everyone would expect, like this super, you can't even think of how high tech this stuff is. No, they said, nope, let's make it look like it came from the 80s. So then they have this cool image showing how the timeline has been breaking off because of Loki's action, and then they go and they correct that. It reminds me of the scene in Avengers Infinity War in which Hulk is talking to the great one, the time manipulator, from Doctor Strange, and Tilda Swinton's character. And it reminds me of when she sprawled out all of time and showed that when you remove a one of the Infinity Stones from the timeline, it breaks off into a different time stream. So this is very consistent with what we saw in that movie. So I think it just goes on to show that consistency in the MCU, that when you mess with one of the Infinity Stones, it's going to mess up time. So then, Loki's feeling himself, and he's like, "You really don't think that you'll be able to manipulate me? I mean, this person in his mythology is the god of mischief. So you know that what you see in this show is." Not going to be what you get a lot of the times. And this might be a really cool story. I think if they show just how powerful Loki is, in that by the end of this series, he ends up pulling the wool over all of their eyes in a way from the very beginning that nobody could tell. I mean, this guy, even though he's got like this collar on him, I guess that allows him to be shocked or controlled. We're not too sure how the collars work that were on their necks. Um, I doubt there's some kind of power dampening thing. I mean, this is kind of who Loki is. It's like you can't really take his powers. That's just who he is. But they do have those mutants, as you know, the mutants are starting to come into the MCU. They do have those kind of things in that, but I don't know if you could do that to Loki. Anyway, he can literally make you see things that aren't really there. So it's going to be very hard to keep him under their thumb the whole time. I mean, he even said it himself. He's 10 steps ahead of everyone at any given time. So we have more kind of cheeky dialogue between Loki and Owen Wilson's character. And then we have some weird time jumping instances where looks like he's on a plane doing some stuff. He's in these ruins, looks like an abandoned city. And then he's back at the time manipulation facility, right at a cafe having some lunch again with Owen Wilson's character. So we're going to see a lot of him in the trailer. But overall, this trailer gives us a little bit of new footage. But the main point of this trailer was to explain the story of the show, something that a lot of people had already known if they took the time like to go and find out what the story was about. But if you didn't, seeing this trailer will explain kind of what's going to be going on with Loki. So in a nutshell, he messed up time when he took the Tesseract out of Avengers 1, and he's going to be jumping around correcting all of the branches off of the time stream that happened because he did that. So that's going to be really exciting. Who knows how much it's going to tie into Falcon and the Winter Soldier or Black Widow, which comes out in a couple of months. But we did trailers on all that. The latest episode I'll put down in the description after the live stream, and also the Black Widow trailer that we just got a couple days ago will also be in the description below. So make sure to keep it locked here for Snyder Cut, for your Marvel, for your favorite movies and TV shows. Sydney left on a flight yesterday to head over to the West, back to LA. So we didn't get to cover last night's finale of The Walking Dead, but we will be putting that up either today or tomorrow. So stay locked in for our coverage on that. You don't want to miss that. We've got some interesting ideas. Yeah, and we're doing a ton of other shows. So be sure, and we're always taking suggestions down in the comments below. So hit the like button, subscribe, click the bell so that you don't miss. And I will see you in the next one. We'll keep an eye on Marvel here for these new trailers popping up. All right, peace.